Guys, it's time for the Texas tournament report with the team members as usual, Dean and Nico. I guess you guys say hi.
Hello.
So what's up?
All right. Um, yeah, we all flew out from, well, I guess Nico and I flew out from Chicago to Texas, and then Dean went on some kind of side quest
Yep.
to save
Yep.
$50. and,
It was a mistake.
yeah. and luckily he made it in time. Nico and I were joking on the flight that he's not even gonna make it tomorrow. His flight's gonna get canceled, and he's gonna be stuck in like Atlanta or wherever you were.
It was Atlanta on the way there.
Luckily, you made it. You made what 2 a.m. is when you showed up to our hotel room.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool flight. Both there and back were delayed.
Oh man! All right, so yeah, once we got there and everything, what is it? I played Love Live Sunshine, the same build we've always been playing.
I
Nico,
played a really crappy version of Bang Dream.
well, crappy. You really think it's crappy? I thought you.
No, it's good. I got to change a couple cards around, but it's good.
And then our ever tireless leader, Dean, God among men, destroying scrubs left and right in Texas. With what deck was it again?
It was Disgaea. I've always wanted to top with it, and I finally got that chance.
Yeah, what is it? Nico and I promised him like, yeah, you can play it in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the condition was like we have to win a lot before then.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the season was actually really good. We topped 8 every single regional. So yeah, and surprisingly, this one was one of the higher ones too, right? We got
Yeah. It was tied for our best record.
yeah,
Despite us having collectively the worst win loss records.
yeah, some voodoo
It
magic
doesn't
happened
matter.
there. Yeah, let's just get into the rounds then. We'll just go our seat order then, right?
Yep. So I may.
Yeah, and then Nico B, and then Abby C. So take it off or take it away, Dean.
Okay, so I played like the Skya Wallish build just because I felt like I'd be able to punish like bad players more than if I was playing 8-2 Soul. And thankfully we were against some pretty newish or inexperienced players in round one. I played against like 2 Soul Wind Contai. I think it was like the Wind was like a gained power and then it top checked on reverse, bounced back to hand, and the 2 Soul was just 2 souls, and then he had like a card in the back. He like turn one open the like, I think it was like the on death Ricky, the Inaduma, and I kill it with the Laharl that gets a marker and had a Fenric in the back row, so it was like 5k after the single marker, and then he immediately tri-fields me and slams a 2 soul, and he doesn't even side attack this like 5k Laharl that's getting markers. He just crashes into it, and he gets like a double soul trigger on an open lane, so he's swinging for 6. I cancel on 6, and at that point I knew the game was over. I just got a 6-card mill for free, and then I canceled the swing for 4 as well. So I only ate like 3 damage that turn, and then I killed another card with the Laharl, so then I already had 3 markers, and it was living for the rest of the game. He was level locked, and then he goes like 2 more characters. So I think he tri-fields me again, but he's stuck at level 0. And then he like taps this card to give his board a soul and then just crashes again. And then after that he had like no hand. He literally was playing with like a 0-card hand like after that. And I had like 5 markers under one Laharl. I managed to get a second Laharl down and had 4 markers. And I'm like refreshing like 8 and like 20. So that was a pretty easy game, actually.
But did you get bail off that game?
No, I was like level 2 at the end.
Okay. All right. I guess for round one, I played against a Konosuba player. I was ahead most of the game. He managed to get his gate combo off twice, but it was only with 1 union each time, so it's kind of whatever. I think he whiffed one of the top checks. The big thing happened, kind of like the big play where I lost was I was at 3-1. I tried to draw to my Yuki in a climax after I wasted a lot of cards in hand. I managed to get it, but I only had 2 cards in hand. I should have probably or just kind of gone and played the Yukina climax anyway to try to kill him. He was, I think, at like 3-2 or something. Just because I had a lot of climaxes left in deck and I could replenish my hand and then just use that to use Yukina's effects. I chose not to. I think my reasoning for that was like he had no cards in hand because he kind of went like pseudo all in the last turn. So I was like, whatever. Even if he doesn't like do anything, there's almost no way I die here. I was right. I was a 3-1. I think I ended that turn with a 4-card deck with 2 climaxes left in there. And then he proceeds to top deck the Free Fresh Aqua, and I eat shit and die. It was very good.
Konosuba doing Konosuba things.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, so my round 1 opponent was the most spookiest thing ever, man. So Prism Ilia. Normally I don't give a crap about Prism Ilia. Prism Ilia games are just like I sit here and I win the game. Until this fucking legendary man named Broderick showed up in Chicago and destroyed all my dreams when I was playing Konosuba. So now when I sit across from Prism Ilia, I just get PTSD. Luckily this time, I didn't die from 2-2. So my opponent did some really wonky stuff. They were playing like the combo that summons the 1/1 from the deck and then dies when it attacks if you have, I think, 2 or less stock, right? Is it? Or is it 3?
Yeah. That's
2.
like part of the meta build.
Okay, yeah. But the top end was, I forget what it's called. It's where you can swap out to the Kuro.
Oh, it's like the budget one, yeah.
Yeah, and then get another attack and everything. So at 1, my opponent did some weird stuff where he comboed the 1/1 out, and then he knew what he was doing because he chose to kill it. He said he didn't have enough stock for it to live. He's like, I know it's gonna die, but I want it to die. And then he like swung with it, and it goes to the waiting room. And I was like, what is happening here? I'm just like not taking damage because my opponent's killing his own cards.
What?
Don't worry, it gets better because I still almost lose the game. And then so after that, I'm like super far ahead all game because he like basically blinked a turn of attacks for the most part. Game's going fine. Let's see. Oh wait. Yeah, so I'm at like, was it 2? Let's see. Yeah, I'm like at 2-3 or something, or 2-3 or 2-4 or something like that, and I'm in a super fine position. And my opponent, oh man, why is this happening now? But my opponent is at, I forgot what level he was at, or he's at level 3, but I forgot how much damage he's at. I think he was like at 3-3 or something, and then healed down a little bit and did his combo. And I'm like in a fairly compressed let's see, end up at 3-1. Okay, yeah, I'm at a fairly compressed deck, but I still just decide to take 11 damage straight. I'm like, oh, this is a fun game, guys. Following turn after that, like my Yos and stuff just can't kill him. And after double triggering climaxes on refresh, luckily I ended up at 3-1 at the end of that. Or no, crap. I was like 3-2 or 3-3 or whatever after like a 1 heal or something. And then my opponent couldn't field enough soul on the board to actually kill me the following turn. And then after that, just killed him with vanilla swings. But that match was really spooky when I took like that 11 straight. I was like ready. I was like on suicide watch basically. But luckily, won that one. So, yeah, we win our round 1, and then round 2.
Round 2, I am against Connor from Connor's English Corner. You know, he has like runners and stuff, so he denies me like having a good level 0 game. I just remember being out like quite a few climaxes when his level 1 turn happened. So I like slammed a climax, sided his board, played with a smaller hand, but I had Laharo in hand. And then like thankfully he took a lot of damage at his like level 2 turn. Like he went from like 1-5 to like 2-5 or something like late like that. And then like, you know, just playing the game. And then he gets off like double Mikasa at 3. and I managed to go from like 2 something to 3-2, and then after that I go heal twice with Laharo. I do like Laharo heal salvage, get mid boss, and like I have like the hand setup for Bale. So then I like free fresh with mid boss, Laharo again, grab 2 just garbage cards, uh, play down Bale because he has a clogged board because like I'm not killing his board at any point. So like because I sided, I denied him like opening up lanes to like free up his board space. Um, so I got the double crash and then I got the clock kick with the Bale. And then he had another Mikasa for a second turn of double Mikasa, but now I'm on fresh deck, right? And he goes like burn 1 sticks, swing 4 cancels, and he had power pumped the card in front of Bale to have an extra soul. And he goes like burn 1, sticks, swing. I forget if I eat that one or if I cancel because of a soul trigger. And then I remember I lived at like 3-5 or something spooky, or 3-4 maybe. Um, and then I just remember he like triggered a win on the second attack, and even though that next attack without any soul triggers was presenting lethal, he bounced the Bale. And he was at like 3-6 anyway, so he was dead next turn. So now he was swinging for 1 more than lethal was, and then on top of that he got a soul trigger. So then I just canceled. And then I almost fucked up the lethal because I was like, oh boy, time for a second turn of 3 attacks and Bale. So I go slam down like an Axel or something, and then I put down like some card that doesn't remove itself from the board. And then I put down my Bale, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't really know. Thankfully you're 3-6 though. So yeah, never punished. Felt really good beating meta AOT with this TD plus that I'm playing. This like $150 TD plus.
All right. My round 2 opponent was against Contai Collection. Thankfully, we had this new set of Bang Dream come out, and it released this really good Cosme card that's a Suicider and also Power Pump stuff on play. So that's pretty good. He never managed to establish a proper board because of those cards, and yeah, he pretty much struggled most of the game. I think I shot him up to level 3 early, to where like at a point where I was at like level 2 or something, and I had to crash board one turn just because I couldn't kill his level 3 stuff. And then he magically like dealt 7 damage to me after a refresh when I was like 1 and 3. But I was like, oh okay, sure, you got it. Mainly because that just let me get to level 3, and then I double Yukina and Musashi'd him for game. When I do that, it works. I mean, when Dean doesn't.
Oh man, Dean forever cursed.
Yeah.
So round 3, I played against GGO 8 Gate, the TD combo, not Fuka. I wrote here that I played against. Was it Curtis I played against? Do you guys remember?
It was the other member of Connor's team.
All right, I'm just gonna assume it's Curtis because I wrote Curtis here for some reason. So, all right, if it's not Curtis, well, too bad. Curtis now has credit for this match. Let's see. So the GGO matchup for Sunshine's not bad at all. It's kind of one of those things where like whoever gets to level 2 first kind of gets control of the game because they get to drop their early plays first and like set up the tempo for the rest of the game. Unfortunately for us, we had a super slow game where both of us were like canceling and just like not being able to do anything for a very long time. So our level 1 game was like really, really slow and just like easily building up a lot of stock to set up things and everything like that. Unfortunately for him, I think I forgot what order happened in. I might have already been level 2 or like 2-0. Or maybe like 1-6 or something like that. But he got hit to level 2 first, if I'm remembering this correctly, and then he wasn't able, or he decided not to play his early play stuff because he was in a position that he didn't really need to. Is this the right match I'm thinking of? Still, yeah, I think it was this one. So yeah, and instead just played a bunch of crappy characters on the board, which let me play my level 3s and not have to worry about the anti-early level 3 counter. Unfortunately for him, he was really compressed at that point. I'm pretty sure he was like 1 in 3 or something like that. But for some reason, he just ate 8-9 damage straight, and I was like, oh, okay. But after that, it was just kind of like downhill from there for him. So I just play Yos, play Musashis, and then just win it out straight from there. Yeah, but that's it. All right, Dean, round 3.
Round 3. We were really excited at the beginning of this round, I remember, because I think it was like UA had lost, and then like Riaz's team had lost, and Connor's team was already dealt with, and we were like, oh man, there's like no real teams left, right? And then we play against the people who beat us last year, and ended up getting first last year. And man, this guy gets hit to like 0-5, and I get a single reverse with my OP like level 1-5. It's like a level 1-5K now with one marker. And I'm like, if I get one more reverse, Konosuba gets walled out for the rest of the game by this card. And this guy goes clock draw, plays down the Union, the Ricky, but then like he's out 3 Megamines already, so he doesn't have targets in deck, but he forces the level just so he can put down the Union level 1 that's 6K. But he doesn't even have a climax for it. He literally Rickied himself just so he could kill this card. And at that point, I was like starting to get really worried. I'm like, man, this guy like quickly identified this as like a horrifying threat. But I actually feel like the Konosuba matchup, just because like they have so much like garbage until level 3. Like my level 2 game can kill their level 2 early plays, and then like my level 1s I actually wall out their level 1s. So it's actually not that bad of a matchup. I mean, their endgame is definitely better than mine, but it is what it is. So I managed to actually beat him somehow. I don't really remember what happened. I just remember he like died, and I was very confused. But I guess we take those.
Yeah, we always take those.
Yeah, we always take them. Easy.
All right. So my match was against a ReZero player. I think a little bit of spoiler alert. We had a rematch against these guys later on in the tournament. In this game, however, my opponent just kind of, let's just say he didn't have a good game. He was at 0-5 at one point, and then the next turn he got shut up to 2-1. I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. He stabilized a little bit. He lived like an extra turn or two after that, and then he died from 2-6 because he triggered a bunch of climaxes and drew a bunch of climaxes. And yeah, we take those.
All right, my round 3 match was against Steven. He was playing Two Soul Sunshine, and generally, I think Two Soul Sunshine sucks. I always say this because I don't blame anyone for playing that deck because it's really, really powerful. But I still think the stock Soul version is just infinitely better. And I guess kind of this would be one of the reasons, even though it shouldn't be. But yeah, we'll just get into the game here. Our early game was just standard bullshit Sunshine. You know, we all do our coin flip thing for this game. I made a really dumb misplay at level 1 because I just was like, you know what? I don't need to think for this match because this match is literally just we both keep coin flipping until someone dies. Unfortunately, I was really dumb and was like, I know, I'll just put this Chica in front of this runner because the positioning would be better. Oh yeah, I have this Stocksoul in hand. I should probably play that for the Chica combo. Oh wait, this is a runner. He mills for his runner. Oh, it ran away. What a surprise. So it's like, oh no, that's not good. I'm playing with like a really low quality hand for the rest of the game, like 3 to 4 card hand instead of having the normal like 5 to 6 card hand all game. So after that misplay, I kind of bail on the idea of even playing early plays in this matchup anymore. So I just go for the compression game plan, which is something that like this. I think the Stocksoul deck just does better than the other decks. So I just kind of like start slamming Stock Souls as I draw them to just build more compression. Because if I get that critical mass, it's really hard for Sunshine to win in the mirror. Even if they like get a swing for 3s and stuff off of Yo, you just cancel like way more often, and that's basically what happened. Let's see. Yeah, as soon as I got to level 2, I just start playing a bunch of shitters and running them in. My deck at one point was like 1 in 3 or like 1 in 3.5 or so. So I basically just keep canceling everything, and then Steven like all's in. Yeah, he all ends. I feel like one turn too early, but I don't blame him because it's just like a really at that point he's in like really crappy position. I just cancel everything after he drops the 2 soul. Or no, I just cancel everything, and then the following turn I just drop a bunch of 2 soul characters. I don't even think any of them were like Yo or anything like that, and I just played a climax, and then one off of a swing for 4 at that point because he was like at 3-3 or so. But yeah, it was just standard sunshine matchup, mirror match where we both like flip coins on really dumb stuff, and someone wins, and no one has fun basically. But yeah, round 4 then.
Oh boy, round 4. I'm against this Cinderella Girls player, and he opens with an Azusa. And I'm like, oh, Cinderella Girls has a good level 0 game, and then I kill it. I get my marker. I'm 5k. Um, he like can't answer at that turn. I then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna attack one time because I kill that, and he literally goes clock draw pass, and I'm like, interesting. Well, in my mind, I'm like, this thing's 5k. It's gonna live if I attack once, so I can just go draw, attack once, and then he'll be like 0-4, 0-5, because he's 0-2, I think. Yeah, because I think he canceled, so 0-2, and then it'd be 4. And like I don't run a lot of soul triggers because I play Gates as one of my climaxes. But this game said you're not going to play the game. So I got a double soul trigger, putting him to 0-6. And then he just like clock draws, and then suddenly I am like level 2 from like 0-3. That was really cool. And then I go clock draw, attack 3 times, triggering 2 climaxes. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. I actually don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. And then he refreshes like 4 or 5 and 30. And I'm like, oh man, do I have a chance to come back to this? So I like pay out my stock. I get my free fresh off. I hit him to like 2-4, 2-5. And then he like next turn like mills like a quarter of his deck, and then is like left with 2 climaxes, I think, and like a 20 card deck. And I'm like, well, okay, I have like a stock soul in hand. I'm like 3-2. I think I go down to 3-1. And I can go 3-3-3, or I can go 3-3-4. I opt to shove my back row up, save a Laharl in the back, and go for the 3-3-3 with 1 burn 1. Swing 3 sticks, burn 1 cancels, swing 3 sticks, swing 3 sticks. He's left at 3-6. I got no soul triggers. I'm like, only soul triggers came when I didn't need them. Now that I need it for lethal, they don't. So I was like a little upset that he was there. And then he goes, swing it sticks, swing it cancels. And now I'm at 3-5, and he has the Anastasia restander in front of a level 1. And I'm like, God damn. If he like swings into this thing and then like brings out the 1-0, it's like I'm kind of dead. So I look at this guy and I'm like, you know what you should do? You should side attack this. And then he goes, you're right. And then he side attacks with his restander, his on reverse like restand thing. And it kills me. And I was very upset. I was very upset that like of all the times that I should be like given a cancel on a swing, it should be right there. But yeah, he beat me. And then how do your guys' games go?
All right. Well, I played against Fate Apocrypha. I have like 2 lines of notes here. He used the Fran level 1 combo. He tri-fielded the Fran level 1 at 0 and sent it all to memory. I think he got 1+ off the mills. He hit brainstorms pretty consistently too, including on first deck, which is pretty good. I think we're about having a fairly equal game. I talked to Dean about it a little later after the game. He said I probably went all in a turn too early, but I figured at that point I was pretty favored to survive. Little did I know that Fate Apocrypha runs this 2/1 off trait yellow card. I think it's the Lord El Malloy that has like the nerfed Fumio effect. So I think I had like 8 cards in deck, and I think like 3 of them were climaxes. I was like low level 3. I was like, yeah, I don't think I die here. And he plays that card, and I'm just like, that card exists. And then he killed me. I was like, oh, all right. I guess these games happen too.
Very powerful. Oh man, round 4 I played against Gold Bar Standby Sal. The person I played against, like, you can just tell when people understand the matchup and people just play the game like the same way every time they play the game. So this person clearly, I think, had no idea how this matchup is supposed to play out. He tried field really early, and I kill everything. Unfortunately for him, fortunately for him, I have to skip a turn at level 1, and he also like brainstorms every turn and hits every turn. He hits a climax at least in his brainstorm. So this guy always has hand all game, and I'm just like, this sucks. Luckily, even though after I skipped the turn at level 1 because I had no playables, I still felt like I was like in a winning position to win the game. Like, I should have been way further ahead, but I'm still in a position that I shouldn't lose this game. Like 9 times out of 10, I won't lose. Luckily, this is the one time he gets the win. So we're like even on damage, and for the most part, I hit him to 3/6 when he hits level 3. He plays 3 level 3 Asunas that climax combo with Gold Bar, and heals down to 3/3. All right. His hand at that point, after playing the climax, was only 4 cards. He does the mill thing. He refreshes during the mill thing. I canceled the mill. He did like burn 4 and then a swing for 3. Canceled. Burn for 3. I canceled that, and then swing for 3. I canceled that. Then his last attack, he only has. He had 5 cards in hand. My bad. So he has 1 card left in his hand, and he's in the middle of reshuffling his deck. Right. Only 2 gold bar triggers are going back into his deck. So the only way he can... I'm sorry. This happened on the second attack. The only way he can get a second card in his hand is to trigger 1 of 2 gold bars going back into his deck. That was like 2 in like 40. So he had like a 1 in 20 chance to like trigger that card to get 2 hands. So the third attack can also mill. Looks like I'm really good at cutting decks for people, because he triggers the gold bar, gets 2 hand, which lets him attack with the last Asuna and use the effect. He uses the effect again, and then he mills 4 triggers. I take the burn for 4, and I'm like, well, this isn't too bad. I'm still like in a 1 in 3 or so. Actually, less than that at that point. I think it was like 1 in like almost 2 climaxes per deck. And I had like 3 climaxes left in the deck. Or not 3. Was it 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I had 4 left in the deck. 4 left in the deck, and it was like a 10-card deck or something like that. Oh, no, wait. Dang it. Whatever. I was like 1 in 3 or something. Either way, I eat the burn for 4, and then he triggers, and it's for 3. And then I just eat the 3 straight, and then I flip my deck over, and then there's like 3 climaxes in a row. And I was like, this is a good game. I love Weiss. Weiss is a good game. Only skill, please. But yeah, then I lose that matchup, unfortunately. Even though I was in such a good position. It was very sad. But yeah. That was some real bullshit triggers there at the end. Alright, round 5?
Round 5, I play against Pignon from the Chicago group. He's playing Bang Dream Kazumi. I triggered like 4 climaxes in the first 5 attacks that last game. So to follow up, my first trigger after mulliganing, like, I had to mulligan 2. I got a reverse off with my Laharl thing, and then I triggered a gate on the first attack, and I looked at my one card grave that only had a target for my Laharl marker, and I'm like, oh shit, I actually don't salvage here, I don't think. So I don't salvage. And then I'm trying to like, get a second reverse with my Laharl, and I'm trying to like also, just like kind of keep him level locked so that way I can get reverses. And I get the good double soul trigger to send him to 1. It's very nice. And I think it was in the first like 3 attacks I triggered 4 climax. I don't really have stockouts in this deck, so it felt really good. And then of course it's like Christmas Cosme, so it just like runs it over. It doesn't really care. Because I couldn't get to like the glorious 3 markers I need to be 9k after backup, and I didn't get to go to level 1 first. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I don't think I really canceled that game at all. And then he hits me to level 3. I do mid boss free fresh Axel Bale, and then he like triple cancels and is just like 3-0 or something, or like 2-5 clocks to 3-0. And then he I don't cancel again, so I'm dead. So it was a pretty fast game. I don't have many tools to come back from a bad start.
All right. I played against Broderick. I think this is my first time ever playing against Broderick, and I heard how spooky he was from Kit after he just stole Kit's soul in Chicago. All right. So he's playing Prisma Ilya because that's what Broderick always plays at English events. Luckily, I have this 1-0 Cosme I was shilling earlier from this booster pack that's apparently really, really good, especially against like 1-1s that you need to have on board so you can maintain advantage. So he never really managed to fully keep up a board. I think I pushed him to level 3 early. I think he like hit like 3-1 or 3-2. I was at like 2-4, and he was like, all right, double kaleidoscope, here we go. He pushes me, I think, to 3-5. I was like, phew, that was really close. And he triggered, I think he didn't trigger, but he refreshed with like 5 after that. I was like, all right, I'm in this really good position. So naturally, what I have to do is I have to try to throw the game as hard as possible and have Dean staring at me the whole time, pretty much threatening to kill me. I was at 3-5. I clocked with 5 cards left in deck. I think I had 3 climaxes at the start.
7 cards.
No, after the clock, I had 5 climaxes left in deck.
Yeah. After the clock, but when you started the clock, after your draw, you had 7 cards in deck.
Yeah, 3 of them were climaxes, so I clock and draw 2 climaxes. I was like, oh no, what have I done? Luckily, after like pondering for 5 minutes because I'm a really bad player, I realized he bottom decked one of my characters, so I was guaranteed to hit a brainstorm. So I hit a brainstorm, got a Yukina healed, and then proceeded to field the board like double Yukina and Musashi's, and he died. But I almost threw the game. That's a good thing. Go ahead, kid.
Oh man, I don't know the guy's name, but it was against Konosuba Stocksoul Gate, kind of like the standard build, I guess. My opponent, like, I go first, I swing. Then my opponent tri-fields the very first turn, which is like, whoa, this is really spooky. But then I look at my hand, and I'm like, this is fine. If I get hit to 1, I just win. Because I have 3 Chicas and a Stock Soul already in my hand, and it's only been 1 turn. I get hit to level 1, and then proceed to drop triple Chica, Stock Soul, and I'm ahead all game. Everything's looking good. This game is in the bag. And then there's this point where my opponent is 2-15 on climaxes in their deck. They had 15 cards full with 2 climaxes. I have 2 runners on the board, and I ran in Amari last turn, which top checked and revealed a climax. So the first attack they're going to do is going to get canceled no matter what. Or so I thought. He plays down like Aqua level 3, some other card, and then the level 0 Megaman Anzu effect that when it goes to waiting room, you like top check 4, add a magic character to hand, discard a card, and discard the rest, right? I was actually looking to basically kill him that turn. I was like at like low twos or something like that, maybe 2-3 at most. And he puts the 2K, the 2K Anzu Megumin or whatever in front of my runner, and I have two runners on the board. So like when he goes to attack phase, I legit sit there for like 30 seconds thinking about, do I actually just mill this climax and then run the runner away, so the following turn I can drop a climax and two soul beaters into his open board with the climax and just like literally kill him next turn. And so I sat there and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to make this really bad play and do it. The only way I get punished is if I mill two climaxes. And surprise, surprise, I proceeded to mill two climaxes when I had 4 in my deck.
Right. I told you mill runners suck.
You're right. Hold on one second. The alarm's going off in my building.
Nice.
Fun stuff. Yeah. So I think it's important to note that we got into top 8 with the X2 because after Connor's team, every single person we played against either went undefeated or was in the X1 bracket. So we only played against real teams after that. And Connor's team is probably real. So I play against the round 4. We play against our round 4 opponents. And I'm so glad because this Cinderella Girls player needs to be punished now. So I remember we're having like a standard game, and I get hit to 1 first, and I go like double 1/1 Laharl to wall out the Minamis. And I put it behind the global, and I have the backup in hand. And I think he gets like a turn of Minami off, and then I kill like them with the 1/1 Laharls, and he gets like another turn off, but I deny the he drops like double Brainstorm in the back row, and it's like 1,000 to middle, or it's like 500 to middle for each one. So he like manages to like deny me the counter in the middle. But then I managed to back up over one of them, and then he strands me at because I have the double 1/1s on board.
You on my stream?
And he strands me at 1/6, and I have like a board in hand still. And I just look at this guy who's with like a 4-card hand. I think he had already refreshed, and he'd refreshed like 5 and 30. So once again, he was refreshing very well. And I just like look at his board and his 4-card hand, and I'm like, I have this really good card if I don't clock draw on hand that says he doesn't have a hand anymore. So I play down Wingslayer for the first time of the tournament, blowing up both of his back row and allowing my level 0s to beat over the Minamis. And like I don't think he recovered from that. Like he was like so poorly compressed after refresh. And then he refreshed again, and this time it was like 4 and 30. That like he just like really didn't have what he needed to play the game. And then he somehow got off like an Anastasia turn. It didn't kill me, and then I just killed him. So yeah, managed to get the salty run back on him.
Oh, okay. I had the Parker for rematch. This game was not fun. I think I was out a lot of climaxes. I hit level 1 first. I tried to... I don't even have the combo in hand at that point. I think I attack his board a couple times. I leave him at 0-5 with, I think, the Mordred clean cut in the front row. I'm just like, I'm going to try to level lock him, see if I can delay it a turn. He travels me anyway and slams climax. So I'm like, all right, I guess that happens. I went ahead and I managed to get like 2 Kasamis off the next turn against him. And then he proceeds to triple Fron me the next turn, and I'm like, all right, I guess that happens. This is after I think he canceled like 2 of my Kasumi attacks, so he was at like 1-0, 1-1. Yeah, he got 2 pluses out of that Fron when it sent himself to memory. I remember at that point, or at one point in the game, I was at like 3-2, and he was at like 2-0, 2-1. But then Dean and Kit said they were done with their games and they won, so I'm like, all right, cool. And stop playing.
Oh man. Okay. Oh yeah, I realized my recording mic was on mute. So yeah, I had to go meet the fire department downstairs because my apartment building I lived in, fire alarm went off. That was fun. But yeah, so round one for top eight for me. Get the run back against Standby Sound Gold Bar. Like I said before, I think my opponent just doesn't understand the matchup. So I basically destroy his board early on because he tri-fields again, and then he plays the rest of the game with like a 2 to 3 card hand, never really making it back, and I just like destroy him from there because every time he brainstormed or anything, he just didn't hit any of the brainstorms, so he could never make a comeback from there. And so yeah, it was a pretty easy like game where I just played compression the entire game and sat behind like level 3 Yo and Chica all game. Yeah, really easy matchup. Round two.
Oh boy! So at this point, we're somehow in the semifinals. I don't know what's going on. Um, we're against our round three opponents again because, like I said, they're pretty solid. And this time, the guy makes like a conscious decision that he doesn't really care about this thing getting markers. So like it gets like I get some value off of the little Harl until he like early plays and just runs it over. Um, but I mean, it stayed on board for level one, so that's pretty cool. And then we actually have like a really close match. I don't really know of anything that like super critical that happened because like I think he got like a union reverse or two off because I can't reliably get the cards I need to deny unions. I can just like deny triple union, right? Like my deck doesn't actually have selectivity. It doesn't have anything other than clock drawing to find cards. But I managed to kill some early plays with the 2/2 again, I think. And then I eat more damage than I think I should have at one point. And I go in for like the final turn and he's at like 3-2 or something. 3-1-4 3-1. He's a 3-1, and I go like swing 3, it sticks, burn 1, sticks, and now he's a 3-5. And my next two swings are for 2 and 3, but the 3's into a level 1, so I go swing 2, cancels on 2, side for 2, cancels on 2, and so I lost that one, but it was like super close. Thankfully, he didn't lose to Disgaea twice.
Oh man. All right. Round 7, I had the ReZero rematch. This was a lot more real game. It's a pretty back and forth. There's not too much to say. He got his level 1 combo off. I got my level 1 combo off. The 1-0 cost me the Suicider once again putting in work. I think the play that may have like kind of tipped the game completely in my favor was I got to level 3 a little earlier than he did. I tried to double Yukina him, but he had double Amelia sack counter in hand to protect himself when he was at like 2-4, 2-5. So after the first one, I think he might have only been at like 3-0 or something. But he sack countered again, which put him from having a total of 7 stock when he started to having 3 stock. So then on the following turn, he was only able to field one of the, I think it's Ram, the red maid girl. And he only killed one of my 2 Yukinas that turn. And then he proceeded to die just after that, just because he didn't have enough as ReZero to kind of close the game out. Yeah.
All right. I played against Steven again. He was playing 2 Soul Sunshine. Unfortunately for him, like I was possessed this game or something, and I opened up the literal god hand. That like if I could open up this hand every game of Sunshine, I'd like just die happy. So my opening move was triple Kanon, 2 in the back row, 1 in the front row. And I think there was a runner on board too or something. I don't really know because I'm pretty sure he went second, or did I go second? Actually, I don't even think it matters. It doesn't matter. I have triple Kanon on the board. It's just actual bullshit. So I'm able to sit there and he kills my Kanon. I sack Kanon to bring it back. Top check, sack another Kanon to bring back the other Kanon, top check again. I'm like, oh, there's the climax I'm looking for level 1. I grab that, and then just move the other Kanon to the back row, and then proceed to like drop down Chica and stuff. And from that point, like I was playing with like a really small hand for the most part, like maybe 4-card hand for the whole game. But it didn't really matter because I got so much scry off of Chica, or not Chica, the level 0 Kanon, like throughout the game, that I just like out-tempoed him all game. At one point too, like he leaves a 1-0 Chica on my board because he can't actually kill it because unfortunately for him, he doesn't get to draw his combo or anything. And after that, I like top decked a Stock Soul again, so I just slam the Stock Soul and get more value out of that Chica to keep my hand at like the 4-hand range. At one point in the game, I think this was the point in the game that definitely he had no hope of coming back from, is there was a turn, I think at level 2 or something, where he salvages the level 3 Rico that reshuffles decks, right? So the turn ends after that, I would top check with Mari and I'd see a climax, and it was not like it's a gate climax or anything, so I don't need the hand. Or I mean, I can't get hand off of the gate because there's no, it's a Stock Soul or whatever. So I'm like, I can either trigger this and try to push for more damage, which I felt like I didn't need to because I was already in a good position and pretty compressed, or I can move this climax to the bottom of my deck, and if he Ricos, I get super value out of that. Because if I trigger it, the climax is out of my deck, so I can't really do anything with it except like maybe pay it out the following turn. But like I'm pretty sure the next turn he's going to Rico. So I do that. I top check, see a climax, and move it to the bottom, and then top check again, see another climax, and move it to the bottom. And then the following turn he Ricos, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, because now the 2 climaxes that were technically dead on the bottom of my deck are now like shuffled throughout my deck. Unfortunately, after that Rico reshuffle, I actually think I triple cancel off of that, and then that's it. Like he just like dies the swings right after that. Yeah, he had like a kind of unfortunate game that I opened up the god hand of triple Kanon, so I could just scry throughout the whole game nonstop. So I had like such good tempo advantage from that. But yeah, and yeah, that's it for that round for me. So I guess top 2 now.
Oh baby, I sit across from Tom from UA's group, and I just look him in the eyes and I'm like, congratulations on first place, because I know he's on AOT and I don't think I can beat AOT twice. I was very correct in that. I ate a lot of damage early, and the game was just super fast, and there's not really much to say. Like he was like level 1, I'm like level 3. Fast game, couldn't do much.
All right. Well, after Dean's insightful commentary there, I played against the only Yue Peng. He was on Yellow Review Starlight. So during my game, I draw, and in my opening hand, I see 3 climaxes. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a little tough. So I discard 2 of them. I'm just like, all right, I'll let him kind of like, I'll telegraph that I have another climax in hand. It's whatever. I draw 2 more climaxes, and I'm like, oh no, this is not good. UA went first, so I'm like, all right, maybe this won't be so bad. He plays down his thing that gets like 3k and +1 soul in the center. I think it's the Futaba. I want to say I actually cancel that. So I'm out 6 climaxes before even making a play, and I'm just like, oh, this is not gonna be good. So I remember my level 0 play following that was the level 0 Arisa, the one that lets you kind of like hack your deck and see the top card every time you play a music character. I only had that one playable in my hand, and I swing. And naturally, on the next turn, he sends me to level 1. Because I'm like, alright, cool, whatever, dude. I think I clock one of my other climaxes, and I think I draw another one. Oh, great, cool. So I'm like out 7 at this point. That's very nice. I actually proceed to like mill through, like, but I have a gate in hand, and I have the Cosme event. So I'm like, alright, all I really need to do is mill a couple Cosmes, I'll be fine. I can maybe sort of try to get back into this game. So I believe I proceed to play the level 0 Lisa that mills you 3. Didn't mill any Kosumis. I proceed to brainstorm. Didn't mill any Kosumis. I proceed to play one of the event. I didn't mill any Kosumis. I proceed to play another of the event. I didn't mill any Kosumis. I only had one stock going into this turn, so it's not like I could have grabbed like a Kokoro and then searched the Kosumi. So I'm like, cool. Alright, I guess I play a bunch of these shitty cards, push him up, and yeah. And yeah, it's just... That whole game was terrible. Towards the end, I think I was at like 3-0. I was still out a whole bunch of climaxes. I triggered Pants when I had 2 gates in hand. Yue was being like, after the game, he was like, "Were you trying to telegraph to me that you already had Pants in hand when you were debating on adding that Pants off of the Pants trigger?" And I'm like, "No, dude, I just had 2 gates in hand." I was debating on how badly I wanted my refresh, or like with my chance, or to like slightly up my chances of winning. But yeah, good games to Yue though. But that game was a wash on my end. It was good.
Oh man. All right, so I'm against Konosuba, the 8-gate variant of the deck, against Alex. This game was a lot of fun. Like, playing it was not fun, but like afterwards it was like a lot of fun because it was a really clean, fun game for both of us, I think. So if you guys ever want to see a game where like 2 good players who just decide to like potato at level 1 and neither player gets their combos or anything off until like level 2 and 3, this is a good game. I think it's recorded by Bushiroad. If they upload it, then you guys will be able to check it out. Otherwise, I guess my minimum commentary will have to do. So like I said, the game was really awkward for both of us since we both couldn't really do our game plan very well. But unfortunately, fortunately for me, Sunshine doesn't really care if they miss their level 1 combo. They just want to make sure they set up Chica, or the Chica early play and the Yo early play. So I try to set that up. I end up setting it up decently well. Luckily for me, there was a misplay on his part, but it was more of like a mistake. And honestly, if he said something, I would have let him take the mistake back because he didn't realize he had 8 cards in hand at the time. He thought he only had 7. But apparently one of the cards from his hand was off on the side that he didn't pick up when he grabbed his hand. So I even thought he had 8 cards in his hand because I asked him if he wanted to encore his 1-0 Megumin Bomb, and he looked at his hand and said no. And then, like, right at the start of my turn, he realized that there was a card on the side, and he was like, "Oh wait, I have 8 cards in hand," and then he discarded. And I thought that was really weird that he didn't encore it. But I was like, whatever, I'll take those. And later on, I found out that he just had that card on the side and didn't realize he had it. Outside of that, because he didn't encore that, I was able to play my early play level 3s, swing with Yo on the side there in the open lane. I sided with Chica on the middle lane against his level 1 Union. And then there was like another level 1 Union, I think it was, on the side there. And then I fronted there with Amari because I had like 4 stock. I had 4 stock at that point at level 2. And I knew for a fact he had the 1-0 counter because I saw him salvage it earlier. So I just fronted there after the first 2 attacks to see if he would actually play the counter. My reasoning at that point was if he plays the counter, I most likely will 3-cost the Yo if he kills the Yo. Actually, if he killed the Chica too, I probably would have 3-costed the Chica. But either way, I wanted to see if he would kill the Yo with the counter because my reasoning at that point was if I can get him to basically discard 3 cards out of his hand and then 3-cost my Yo or Chica, whatever he kills, I have a 2-1 counter in my hand with 1 stock left. Most of the time, I should be able to beat whatever he plays on the board because unless he plays like double Megumin early plays, which I doubted he had that in his hand after discarding 3 cards from his hand. So I 3-cost that and bring it back in hopes of protecting it. I'm like, worst case scenario is he like plays one, or not worst case scenario, but like a scenario where like it feels really bad is if he plays 1 Megumin minus 4Ks my Yo, and then plays a gate climax. If he does that, then I'm like, whatever, like he kind of deserves it at that point. That's exactly what happens. Luckily for me, he was in a position where his deck had, I think it was 3 climaxes in like 8 cards or something like that, maybe, or a little bit more than that. So what I did was I 2-1 countered and forced him to mill 5 cards from his deck. So he milled 2 of like the 3 climaxes or something out of his deck, and then I traded with Megumin early play to open up another slot for basically having another soul and a free attack in there. I figured if I didn't get rid of the Megumin at that point and force him into a more awkward position, he could potentially put like more soul on the board, and I would just slowly lose the race that way by letting the Megumin keep living, because I can't really handle the Megumin after that because I just have so little stock that game. After that, it was like an awkward position, but I think we were still kind of even for the most part. I didn't feel like I was going to lose the game right then. Let's see. So yeah, that was like a bit of a high rolly thing I had to do, because I kind of felt I wasn't like in a really solid position. At level 3, I was like 3-2 or 3-3, I think it was, when I was going to try to kill him. Unfortunately, he lives, but I had to make this really, really awkward play because I knew he had the Aqua refresh in his hand, and I was already out 4 climaxes, and I just triggered another climax. So I ran in a level 0 into this 3K card or whatever he had on the board. I trigger a climax, and I have the back row the Brainstormer Hanamaru Brainstormer, where if I trigger a climax I give 2K. So like when I triggered the climax, I thought about just giving the 2K power there to live, but then I instantly realized, if I do that, I won't be able to have the opportunity to 3-cost this character if need be for me to put another climax back in my deck. And if I do this 3-cost here, oh my god, why is everything happening around my house today? If I do this 3-cost here, then I can, if he reshuffles my deck, I had 3 stock souls and 2 gates in my waiting room. So if he does that, I can choose to take out the 2 gates, and hopefully the following turn, if I somehow live this next turn, that because at that point I have like no cards I can really play. I salvaged the 2 Kanons or whatever, so I had 2 level 0s and a level 3 that I can't play the next turn. So my game plan at that point, if I survived, was to play the Kanons and play over them, so I can kind of mill towards hopefully triggering a climax to push for game on if I survive another turn, because I was hoping to kind of sack out that way. Unfortunately, I canceled the first. Did I cancel the first? I don't even remember the order of it cancels or anything like that. But the fact is, I think on the last swing or the swing before the last swing, I died, or maybe I died to the burn 5 Megumin. I can't really remember, but basically I died from there, and it was really unfortunate. I was hoping I could sack him really hard the following turn. But yeah, that ends our run there. Hopefully they do upload that game on the Bushiroad YouTube page, because I'd like to rewatch that.
Won't.
Yeah, they probably won't. They fucking always record this stuff, and then it never shows up.
I'm still sad they never uploaded last year's Toronto, where I did the Goemon change.
Oh yeah, that was a really funny game. I wish that got uploaded too. That would have been hilarious. Yeah, but at that point, so yeah, we ended up 2nd place. Yeah, anything else you guys want to say about Texas other than Bushiro? Please print Sky 5 so Dean can be happy.
Please, my set I can't play that set again. It's so bad. It's you take a TD plus and you take out the good cards.
I would like to say that the air conditioning died about halfway through the tournament, so that was really good.
Oh man, that was
I didn't know until the finals.
Top 8, I was just sweating like a pig the entire time. I was just like, this is horrible.
I literally didn't notice until finals.
Well, I think it went out round 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, around that.
There was a big explosion sound, I remember.
See, I'm a monster, and I didn't even hear that, and then I didn't feel it either.
Yeah, you were still wearing your hoodie all the way up until the finals, and we're like, how are you actually managing to do this?
Yeah. But yeah, Texas was a lot of fun. GG's to everyone we played. I think my favorite game that day was actually the game against Alex. It was I think it was a really, really fun game. Anything else, guys, before we go?
I guess if we're doing favorite games, I really I like beating Connor, but my favorite moment was still wing slayering that guy. That was really disgusting, actually. That card's pretty cool.
my favorite game is where I almost threw against Broderick, and Dean was staring at me the whole time.
Dude, it's the Broderick power, man.
I could feel him being like, Nico, if you screw this up, I'm actually going to
Dude,
do physical harm onto you.
So I didn't know about the bottom deck that game, and I was like, I see him counting at his 5-card deck. He has 3 attackers. Broderick's not even compressed, and like I see him counting, and he has a 5-card deck, and I'm like, Nico, if you fucking brainstorm a 5-card fucking deck when you're at 3-6, and you whiff the fucking climax, I swear to God, I don't give a shit if we lose this round anyway. I will be so pissed if like that is like that's like the player I have on my team. Is the person who makes that play instead of just vanilla swing.
Oh my God. That would have been so funny.
I was about to be really fucking spiteful in that moment. Thankfully,
it's okay. I remember
bottom deck.
Yeah, Broderick even reminded me when he bottom decked the card. He's like, "Yeah, this has to go to bottom deck after I reverse it." It's like this is actually relevant. I'm like, yep. When that happened, I'm like, yeah, this was very relevant. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh man. But yeah, if you guys want to see the Disgaea deck, we did a profile on it in our hotel room the night of. Or it's already been uploaded, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's very quality deck profile, very crisp, very intelligent game plan. So if you want to learn how to play Disgaea, just watch that video. I mean, other than that, you guys have any last shout outs or anything?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll take that silence as a no. All right, guys. I guess we'll see you in the next video. Later.
Goodbye.
Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content, as it does help us grow. And check out some of these social media links below.